identified that the picture of Gretchen Fleming is real. And it seems like it was taken after her disappearance back on December 4th of 2022, the early morning hours. Now, it seems like when we did a search, we had somebody who has invested a lot of time into this case too on the local level, who went to one of the missing in West Virginia groups and searched in human trafficking India, and it came up with these random women who had these panda eyes, the black eyes that you've seen on human trafficking. You see that a lot with child human trafficking. Well, here you're seeing it with missing women, and you absolutely know they're being taken for sex. Now, we can only imagine the horrors based off Hadessa Lane, who was human trafficked a few years back and was found from the Johns that were keeping her down in Texas. And she said back then that the pipeline was in, I think it was Tennessee, maybe Memphis or Nashville, and then also down in Texas. And now recently, we are finding there's this one guy in Texas who has been found with all these. He's a serial killer, and he's been found with all these skeletons of women under the ground. And this is recent, hundreds and hundreds of them. Now, we believe Gretchen's still alive. We believe that she has been human trafficked. Now, we don't know the exact location. You guys can check my previous video out to see the picture that we're talking about. But she's got these black eyes, and there's a lot of makeup on her face. So that's how they're doing it. But they're black, and they've got these lines coming down, and that's to signify that the veins have been busted out or something. It's like torture. They're physically, mentally abused, and every sexually abused in any way you can imagine. And people ask, why is she smiling on it? Well, she's probably being forced. Now, if you look closely at that picture, it looks like the left side of her head is kind of caved in, and there's like this extra flap of skin down in here. And we don't exactly know what's all going on with it, but I'll say one thing: we cannot trust our local police department for any answers on this. Yesterday was the 5-year anniversary of the missing John DiMarino from Uncle Mike's Bar, and I'm still working that video for you guys. We put out a couple shorts videos on that have generated a lot of interest back in that case. It's been 5 years. I went back to Uncle Mike's to try to get some answers. I didn't ask anybody, but I took some video footage. Now, the police have not done anything. Our local police have done zero on that case. Now, when it comes to Gretchen, they want to act like they're the heroes and they're doing everything they can and they're spending all this money to try to find her. You got to keep in mind, they basically harassed people who were searching for her, from Chrissy Lawrence down to, who's done over 300 searches, down to Greg Bowe, who was searching with me. And he called him and said, hey, he said, basically, you've got to stop searching, and you're possibly threatening an active police investigation. You could be charged. And he stopped searching right then and got out of it. But, at the end of the day, we know what's going on, at least on some degree. We've said this all along. We've invested all these hours. Now we've come across this picture. Now, a lot of people are asking, where did the picture come from? I know the woman it came from. We're trying to link back up with her, and she hasn't met with me yet. I'm not sure why. But to me, not a lot of people put a lot of trust in her because of her background, and that's fine. I get it. But to me, it seems like what she's saying, for the most part, seems to hold water. And her daughter has also been human trafficked, and she's in the left side of that picture that I showed on the previous video. So she says she's been told that her daughter has been killed, but I don't believe that, because the picture that was sent, there's another woman on it, and to me, it looks like it's her daughter, and they're dressing them up in this Indian garb or attire. And there are all these candles in another picture. And they asked this woman who sent me the picture if she wanted to be a part of this spiritual healing. And she said, what do you mean spiritual healing? What is this about? And it just seems really weird. But one of the pictures she sent me was pulled from a TikTok called like James Spiritual Healing or something. I'm going to try to get that to you guys on another video. I know I'm trying to work John DiMarino, and all this stuff came up right in the middle of it. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing. I went searching yesterday, and the city, I'm telling you, I think the city's involved on this, because they're ripping out a whole bunch of trees right around the area where I found a secret storm drain that I was tipped off to. And I didn't go down in it because I wasn't guaranteed I was going to make it back out. But it leads down to the sewers. You've still got my way that shut down the morning Gretchen came up missing, the same morning, their pipe bust. And we went back and tried to check the temperatures, and the temperature seemed like it was a warm day. I think the high was 53 degrees, the low was down to like 24 or something like that. So I don't know. It just seems very suspicious to me. And then a couple weeks later, 2 to 3 weeks, you had the water department doing with a bulldozer out that side the house where Preston Pierce was living on Division Street Extended. They said a pipe bust out there too, and they were digging all up in the ground and right at his house on both sides. So people are wondering, I don't know. I mean, if she's human trafficked wearing India clothes, I don't know that she'd be down in the sewers, but it does seem very suspicious that this was going on all at the same time and that the bar shut down then. Now the bar owners, they were getting upset with me because they said we've got time stamped pictures of the pipe busting and everything, and they said that they weren't there. They left by 9:30, but a lot of this just seems very suspicious to me, and we're not leaving any lead unturned. We are looking at all angles. We've got a lot of people working on this now. This picture is, as a recent discovery, has sparked a lot of interest. So that's what we got right now. We have turned it over to a cybersecurity analyst and trying to determine the IP address of where this picture has come from. We have also gotten outside police to work with us because we just can't trust our local PD on this anymore. So that's all I got. I wanted to give you guys an update. Thanks for tuning in and subscribing. And we're going to get you some answers one way or another. We're not going to give up on this. Thank you guys so much. Continue to pray to Jesus for answers, not just for her, but for the recent Taylor Mraz, who's come up missing out of Morgantown at WVU. Another victim, probably, of human trafficking. And hopefully we can find some answers on John D. Marino as well. It's been 5 years. We're not giving up on this stuff. We care. Something needs to be done. I mean, why is West Virginia a hub for human trafficking? I know it's all over the country, but why here? It doesn't make a lot of sense. So somebody's got to stand up to it. We're here for you guys. Thank you for your support and everything. We'll talk to you when we can. Bye.